If you're a fan of all things Power Rangers and Power Rangers related and you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Anyways, thanks for watching and I hope you enjoy the video. Go-Go Power Rangers issue 29 is a very interesting issue of Go-Go Power Rangers because we're finally in the third act of Go-Go Power Rangers as we draw closer to the finale. And this issue introduced a lot of characters we know of, but it's going to be playing a role in the necessary evil side of Mighty Morphin, such as the introduction of Kia, the peace conference hinting at the replacements for Jason, Trini, and Zack, and many other things that will be playing a role in the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger comic. Let's get into it. So the issue opens up with the Rangers fighting a monster called Gunmetal Kettle, and this monster's design is really freaking cool. It's basically a teapot with a brain where the water goes in, and its design is really cool, and the Rangers are struggling to fight this monster. But what's interesting about this fight is you kind of know when it takes place, because there's an editor's note where it says, see the episode 2 for 1, which is very interesting because the episode 2 for 1 was the second last episode that we saw before Jason, Zack, and Trini left the show and the actors walked off set. So it's a really interesting place to put this fight where it's in between, because it's sort of where the original actors left the show and they had to find replacements. So I kind of do like where this issue is being placed, because it sort of sets up for what we're going to be seeing later down the line. So the Rangers are fighting the monster. They struggle because Tommy's being a bit reckless and he's making a few reckless shots, which gets him paralyzed by the spray of the Gunmetal Kettle, and they have to set up by using the giant blaster. So after Zordon, Jason and Tommy have a talk in the command center, Zordon and Jason have a one-on-one, and Zordon does apologize for making Tommy the leader in secret because of the whole white light thing and changing the balance of the Power Rangers. Zordon still apologizing for that, and understand where he's coming from. But Jason says that Tommy's come a long way since I started, and he's going to be a good leader, so he'll get there eventually. Everything's going to be fine. Meanwhile, while this is going on, you've got Kimberly, Zack, and Trini. They're all Billy's there too, and they're all talking, and they're a bit worried about Tommy being the leader as well, because he's being a bit reckless and he might lead him into uncertain danger, which is sort of hinting towards what happens in the Mighty Morphin side of things when Dane shows up. I think that's what they're hinting at, that it's going to lead him into certain danger later down the line. I get the feeling that's what they're hinting at, sort of, maybe. But Kimberly says, hey, Tommy's trying to figure himself out and us at the same time, so cut him some slack. Even Jason wasn't a good leader when he started out, because remember our mission to the moon, and Jason did his own solo thing when we faced off against Rita on the moon. So she's sort of talking about the first two issues of Go-Go where Jason did his own thing when they had to go to the moon to rescue the astronauts. So Kimberly has faith in Tommy that he's going to be a perfectly fine leader. So I get where she's coming at, because they love each other very much, so she's going to stand her boyfriend. I understand where she's coming at from there. On the villain sides of things, during the time between issue 28 and 29, Lord Zedd sent Babu and Squad on a mission to get a secret hologram thing. What is that secret hologram thing? Well, it's a projection of Promethea, and Lord Zedd has plans to attack it. He's aware of Grace Sterling, and Lord Zedd has a plan to go into Promethea and look for something. What is he looking for? No idea, but he wants to attack Grace Sterling and Promethea, which I wonder how that's going to turn out for Lord Zedd. I don't know what he's looking for or what he's trying to find, but it looks like Ryan might be doing an alternate retelling of the ninja encounter that introduces Rocky, Adam, or Aisha. I don't know if that's what he's going for entirely, but with this comic book wrapping up in 3 issues after this issue, who knows what's going on. But I do like the fact that Grace Sterling is playing a role in the comics again. She's always a fun character to have around, and she was in Shattered Grid and Beyond the Grid, so I'm still trying to figure out what Grace Sterling this is with the timeline reset. Does she remember any of the Beyond the Grid stuff? And I guess we'll find out in issue 49 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But whenever Grace Sterling gets brought up, I wonder what happened to a character like that, and did she get her mind reset and stuff like that. So I guess we'll find out eventually. So Lord Zedd, he's got a plan, and Finch is going to make a monster for him, which we'll get to in a bit. After that, we then visit a very old Go-Go Power Rangers plot thread, Jason and his father. Now, if you've forgotten, Jason's father was very sick during the early days of Go-Go Power Rangers, roughly in the Shadow Grid portion of the story. He didn't want to get medication, but then they had a big family meeting, and he went on the medication, got the treatment, and now he's doing okay. So, they have a nice family bonding session where Jason's looking after him, he's feeding him cereal, and his dad doesn't need Jason to play nurse. So it's cool to see Jason still looking out for his dad and helping him out while he's recovering, and I did like that moment. That was a nice little moment. But Jason's dad gives his son a bit of a speech saying, "Trust me, I won't be bothering my teenage son with life or death matters. You'll be more of a help not doting on me while managing to leave laundry everywhere." So I guess that's sort of alluding to the later stuff in Mighty Morphin. I sort of get what it means, I sort of don't get what it means, but he's basically giving his son advice that's probably going to be playing a later role in the comic or the other comic later down the line in the story. So after that, we then cut to the juice bar where the Rangers are hanging out and they bring up the peace conference. That's right, the peace conference in Switzerland that is coming up in the next few weeks or months. That is brought up, and it's really interesting because I wonder how they are going to handle the peace conference, because in the TV show, that was sort of coveraged by news and media in the Power Rangers universe. So I wonder how it's going to be handled in the comic book. I guess we'll find out when we get there. But Jason, Trini, and Zack tell Kimberly and Billy that they're going scuba diving for the weekend. And when they mean scuba diving, they're going into space. They're going into space, and we get the introduction of XI or 11, whatever you want to call him. He's introduced for the very first time, and he's a fun character because the Blue Emissary built him because he wanted a little alpha companion. So we get a lot of exhibition and dialogue saying, hey, we're going to be doing this. There's the whole Dracon stuff, and a bunch of people have powers now. The stuff we kind of know about in Mighty Morphin, but it's sort of explained again in this issue, so it's sort of telling them for the very first time that we already know about. So they're going to a planet to find out this secret energy source that they find out, and it's a really interesting bit of dialogue that they have. They're saying, hey, we can make some allies or we can make some powerful enemies, hint hint, which sort of means they're going to have a big enemy in the nearby future. While this is all going on, we then cut to Lord Zedd's plan where Finster has made a monster that is going to dig underground into Promethea. Now, we have no idea what Lord Zedd wants with Promethea. His plan isn't really spelt out for us, but something about Grace Sterling and something they're hiding in there. Maybe he wants to use the technology, maybe she's hiding something in there that we don't know about. Maybe it's Dane, who knows, because Dane gets introduced in issue 40 of Mighty Morphin, and it's slowly setting up the pieces for Necessary Evil and Mighty Morphin. We have no idea what's going on, but whatever happens, I'm really interested to find out. So, Lord Zedd made a monster that looks like a hedgehog and it's got a drill for a hand. I'm blanking on the name right now, but his design does look really cool. I am a fan of his design, and it does look really freaking awesome. So, whatever Lord Zedd's plan is, I'm really excited to find out as we get closer and closer to the finale of Go Go. Then on the final pages of this issue, you have the Rangers, Zack, Trini, and Jason landing on an unknown planet where you see someone being chased by an angry mob. That person is revealed to be Kia, like I said at the start of the video. So Kia's already introduced into Go Go Power Rangers already, which I kind of knew we would get around to eventually, but I thought it would be maybe in the next issue, in issue 30, but nope, Kia's introduced already. We only see her for one panel, or a few panels actually. You get a full body reveal on the last page that it's Kia. My only problem with the Kia reveal on the last page, it's a subtle hint saying, hey, this person can be a powerful ally, or an enemy. Hint hint, this person might be an enemy later down the line, which doesn't bother me too much, but I understand the subtlety that Kia is now the main antagonist in Go Go Power Rangers, and that's the sort of hint that Ryan was dropping at if you're reading both at the same time. So it's sort of that irony that Kia is going to be the ally and eventually betray him later down the line. So it is what it is, but either way, I'm excited to see Kia being introduced in this comic. I can't wait to see where that goes for her, but we kind of know where it's going for her. But yeah, that's where the issue. But overall, I did enjoy this issue of Go Go Power Rangers. We're in the third act of the comic as we get closer and closer to the finale, so I'm excited to see how Ryan and Sinner are going to wrap things up as we get closer to issue 31 and 32, because they come out in the same month. So whatever Ryan does, I'm really excited to see how this comic ends and how the conclusion will come to be, because you can kind of guess what kind of gears are turning with the eventual appearance of the Stone Canyon Trio, Kia getting her Omega Blue powers, the Omega Ranger powers coming to light eventually. I'm excited to see all of that stuff later down the line, so I'm curious how Ryan and Cinna are going to set everything up as we get closer and closer to the finale of Go-Go Power Rangers. But overall, it was a fun issue. I enjoyed it quite a fair bit. Tell me what you guys thought of the issue in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, slap that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys around. Peace out, and thanks for watching.